Well, here we go again. To Hannah's family, welcome. To Rory's family, welcome back. So for those that don't know, my name's Scott and it's my second time doing this. And can I just say, it's great to be back on tour as Rory's best man here in Cambridge. Hannah, before I get into the good stuff, you can't say he's not a man of his word, because he did say, if I did a good job at his first wedding, I could do his next one. And here I am. And that's Rory all over, true to his word. Unless he's on the golf course. But we'll get into that later. You ruined that bit, didn't you? Taking the fish. Okay. So for the second time, I was handed the captain's armband and tasked with planning the stag do. I assembled the troops, started the obligatory group chat, and began brainstorming ideas. Adam Green wanted to do an Ironman. I said, that's a great shout because you could definitely use the exercise. Scott Kirby suggested a golf trip. I said, great shout because he definitely needs some practice. Alex Reid wanted a mental health break. And I said, maybe we should save that because if I have to do this for the third time, we might need one. Pete Jemby fancied 7 nights in Thailand, home to the lady boy. I'll let you connect the dots. Joe Timmins wanted to go fossil hunting, and I just removed him from the group. And John Worthington just wanted a good fight. I said, boys, what we really need is a massive bender, but don't worry, he's coming with us. So being the culture vultures that we are, we finally agreed upon one of Europe's top 5 stag destinations, Albufeira in Portugal. The first night we dressed up as Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. Rory, of course, was Snow White, and unfortunately for the single blokes on this trip, he was the classiest bird out there. Strutting his stuff in the blue, white and gold dress, with facial hair that looked like broom trimmings, topped off with a black bob and a cigarette stuck behind his ear. Who wouldn't want a piece of that? The second night we dressed him up as Zohan, who for those that don't know is a flamboyant Israeli hairdresser. And as you can see, he's still wearing the wig. The third night, we got dressed up again, but to this day I couldn't tell you as what. What I can tell you is, he was out till the early hours of the morning, doing the YMCA, pretending to breastfeed a rubber chicken. But this was no ordinary rubber chicken. This was a breakdancing, lager drinking, cigarette smoking rubber chicken, who we accepted into the group as one of our own.
Show us.
And we kept him with us for the evening.
Show us.
Unfortunately, we lost him at the end of the night, never to be seen again. But there's one rule on a stag do: you never leave a man behind. So ladies and gentlemen, can you start a drum roll, please? All the way from Albufeira in Portugal, make some noise for Chicken Chris! Chris has got a few words for you all. I'll put it back myself, mate. Back to your dad. So I realise I've jumped the gun a bit there and skipped ahead a few chapters, so I'd like to take you back to the glory days and talk about some memories I have of us there growing up. We've known each other since birth, and as gay as it sounds, I can't remember life without you. And some of the memories we've had growing up together still make me laugh to this day, but there's one memory in particular which sticks with me. Let me just scroll up here. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So during our GCSE days, when we had spare time in between exams, instead of revising, the boys used to hop the fence into the woods next to school for a crafty fag and a ride on the legendary rope swing. The rope swing in question hung from the tallest tree in the forest and would literally swing it 20 feet into the air. On this particular day, we had loads of time to kill and decided to spice things up. Someone suggested we start a fire at the bottom of the hill and we each take turns swinging into the flames. Another suggested one of us swing from it while the rest of them pelt him with stones. And then Rory popped up and said, "Shall I do it naked?" We all laughed and said, "Rory, you wouldn't do it." And if you know Rory like I know him, if you dare him not to do something, that's exactly what he's going to do. With written encouragement from the boys, he did just that. And can I say, I've never seen a heterosexual male so keen to strip off in front of a bunch of blokes. He stripped down to his birthday suit, grabbed the rope swing and climbed to the top of the hill. Braced for takeoff, stark bollock naked. He took one glance over his shoulders to make sure the coast was clear, gave the boys a thumbs up at the bottom of the hill, and leapt off the launch pad. He came soaring towards us and made sure to do the splits. Our smiles turned to frowns as he passed over our heads and revealed his nether region. We noticed he'd gone for a continental look, as it appeared he hadn't groomed in years. It was also the first time I've ever seen a Mohican sticking out of someone's arse. He swung right up into the treetops, and by the time he came back down, he'd noticed we'd stolen his clothes and ran back to school. Leaving him two options: he either climbs the fence, walks back to school to face the music, or he cuts his losses and tries to get the bus home and convince the driver to let a 16-year-old naked boy get on the bus with no money because his mates had stolen his stuff. You could see the panic on his face as we peered over the fence, all of us howling with laughter, watching a distressed Rory hang from the rope swing. At which point, an elderly lady walking a dog walked through the woods and saw Rory dangling from the trees, and judging by the look on her face, she wasn't a fan of the continental look either. But we eventually gave him his clothes back, and to this day it remains one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Who else but Rufus? Fast forward a few years, we now work together. To make things worse, he's actually my boss. When we first started, me, Rory and another bloke were on a team, so we were put on the same team, and because three of us wore skinny jeans, we were known as the three must-be queers. Which was given to us by our boss at the time, and I think it was out of pure jealousy because he couldn't fit to prepare himself. Funny enough, now Rory's got his job, neither can he. It's not the only nickname Rory's had in the workplace, although this nickname wasn't given to him by one of his colleagues, but by one of his clients. One day, Rory needed to use the facilities in his client's salon. And the unwritten rule is, if you're using a client's toilet, you only go number one, you never go number two. On this particular day, Rory broke those rules. He painted the town brown and left an unpleasant scent for the rest of the salon to enjoy. And as he was packing up his bags, Rory said he heard one of the girls from the staff room say, "What's that smell?" He said, "What's that smell?" I think that wretch just done a shit in her toilet. Hairdressers notoriously can't keep things to themselves, so word spread through the local area. And when Rory returned to the salon next month for his meeting, he was quite simply known as the Stinky Rep. I could go on and on, but as our boss is in the room, I'm going to leave it there, but I'm pretty sure my P45's on its way in the post. Around this time, Rory met Hannah, the girl of his dreams, who he described as a mincy little redhead. After hearing what they got up to on the first few dates, she certainly lived up to the name. And here we are today, celebrating your wedding day. Rory and Hannah then became parents to Oscar, and I don't know how Hannah deals with it. The tantrums, the soiled underwear, and that's just Rory. Now with Oscar in the mix, she's definitely got her hands full. Rory, now you're a married man, and begin to build your life with Hannah and Oscar. I want you to remember a few things. When you're letting the side down on Call of Duty, under heavy fire, close to death, I'll still be there to save you. When you call me the night before a sales meeting and tell me you haven't done your presentation, I'll be there to do it for you. When we're playing a high stakes game of FIFA or golf, I'll be there to take your money. When you found a Chinese website that sells dodgy Rolexes and you need to order two to get free delivery, I'll buy one with you. If we ever go into another lockdown and you start selling dodgy phone cases and offer me one for the discounted price of £30 because I'm your mate, say to fuck off. All jokes aside, I hope to God this is the last time I ever have to do this. And knowing how much Hannah means to him, I'm pretty sure it will be. Since meeting Hannah, you've grown as a person, and I'm not talking about your waistline. You started a business together, started a family together, and today you start married life together. I wish you both all the best for the future, and as I sign off for the final time as your best man, can I ask everyone to stand please and raise a glass to the bride and groom, to Hannah and Rory. Let's get smashed.